Thank you. Thanks very much indeed, Chairman. And I suppose talking about the Fair Deal scheme, it's a scheme, Minister, that I respect that you inherited the scheme, but it can cause great difficulties within families, and I respect you're trying to make changes to it, and I'm not here to over-criticise, because I do believe, and I watched people, and I'm talking about, people going to beautiful community hospitals, and we have so many stunning community hospitals in my own constituency, and nursing homes. And people have said to me before, it's not fair that they're charged, but a charge has to be applied. Common sense has to prevail here. I'm not going to come in here and say, sure, they should be inside for free or the price of their pension. But there is difficulties, and there is people, like especially farmers and whatever. I had 2 people in my clinic this weekend, maybe 3, but 2 definitely, that had issues with the Fair Deal and concerns and worries, and it seems to attack the person that has been careful all their life and has been, I hate to say this, no one dishonest, but has been, prudent or been very careful with their finances. I had a person in recently that told me they grew their own produce, they baked their own cakes, they done everything at home, happy together, a couple, and then all of a sudden one gets sick, and all of a sudden there's a bit of savings there, and it's like as if we're going to take that out of your pocket now and rob you decent at the end of their time. Whereas, and I was asked there not so long ago to call in to meet somebody in a nursing home in Clonakilty, and I did. And he told me that he'd worked hard all his life, he'd given all his money to his family, but that he had a very, very good contributory pension. He accepted that, and between the contributory and the old age pension, it reached to the level that he still would have to pay 60 or 70 euros on top of that. Now, he said he didn't realise, but his friend, and I hope that he's not listening, it wasn't the same nursing home, and he had met him. He had met him for years. He thought he had passed away, and he said to him, how much is it costing you here? Oh, and the same friend, he was a man that enjoyed life, and he had a shot of pints every day, and he had the cigarettes, and he had a good life, and he had no savings, and he had nothing other than his pension. And he told him that 80% of my pension keeps me here, and I guess 20% back. And your man said, just I was up at 6 in the morning, and I worked all of my life very, very hard, and I was honest, paid my taxes, did everything by the book, and I'm being fleeced because I did that. Whereas if I stayed at home and, enjoyed life, it would have been totally different. So, yes, has Michael Collins found the balance? I haven't, to be honest, Minister. I haven't found that balance that needs to be found. I just think I keep going back to what Phil Hogan said when he was minister inside here, we'll follow you to the grave for your money. And it's unfortunate advice I give people when they come into me, even, before that they need what could be the Fair Deal, is that get rid of what you have. Good God Almighty, but it's a terrible advice to give people, because I said, if you don't, somebody else is going to take it from you. And people might criticise me, but that's a fact. And that's the way it is, and the system is built wrong to a degree. It supports the person that didn't care, couldn't give a damn, and had a bloody good life, and they're going to get 80% of their pension. Sorry, 80% of pension will be taken, but they'll get 20% back. But the person who was careful and who did everything by the book is ending up having to pay top dollar. So and pay and lose the little bit of. Some people, put a bit of money aside. Some people have a little bit of property, especially farms. And that's a serious concern to them. That farm is only to be passed on. Most people that I know very, very rarely sell a farm. It's being passed on, and it's a penalty. And I know you're trying to make changes, and I respect that. I'm not here to criticise, but I certainly am here to put forward the point of the people that I represent that come into me that feel they're being hit from every angle, and at the latter end of their life, they're now worried that the little bit of savings, the little bit of a farm that they had, and their hope to pass on, because some people, Ireland is maybe, I don't know what it's like in other countries, but Ireland is different. They tend to wait until death before they pass on their property. They wait till death before they pass on the few bob, and they save for the few bob to give around to their children, maybe their family or their niece or their nephew, and that's now is gone once they fall ill. I do respect that people have to pay. I was never a believer, especially with the astonishing hospitals like we have in the nursing homes, especially Skull Community Hospital, Castletonbear Community Hospital, nursing home in Drimoleague, all these hospitals, Dunmanway Hospital, that we have to, they can't they can't keep the doors open, pay staff with patients inside for free that have money. But there has to be a better system than the system that's there at the moment. And I'd like to be able to, I'd like to spend a bit more time and get the right experts on board here to see how we can put a system in place that everybody is treated fairly. You know, long ago, it didn't matter what you had, you were kept for 80% of your pension inside a community hospital. That's not affordable today. It's not even possible to get to community hospitals. It's mainly nursing homes today. But I just think that we need to look at this, and the people that were honest and fair all their life are being punished severely and followed to the grave. And I have to concur with, in the last minute that I have, in relation to what Deputy Danny Healy said today in relation to the cataract procedures. It's an astonishing attack on old people to think that they were reimbursed for 1,900. This is an attack again on the elderly. 1,950 euros gone down to 863 euros. That's the case of Minister, and I do sincerely hope that you can look into it, and the Minister for Health, when we get a chance to speak to him, can look into that this is an attack. You can't provide the surgery for them in Cork and Kerry. You leave them there for 3, 4, 5 years till they're almost blind, and now you're going to make sure that the one little pocket of hope they had, and their 70s, 80s and 90s, most of these people are plus, was to go to Belfast for reimbursement, and you've now decided to destroy that and leave the people go blind. That's an astonishing attack on old people. And this government, if it stands over that, it needs to be pointed out in the next general election. Who made that decision? People that were going up this Saturday week in buses, are now being told that they're going to get little or no reimbursement, where they were looking forward to their operation, which nobody wants it, but they're going to save their site. And this is really an attack on basically, you're quite happy now to get them go blind. It's bad enough to think that they couldn't have surgery in their own backyard, which everybody would prefer, and there'd be no hassle there. But now the reimbursement is cut down to that. It's an astonishing attack on all people, Minister, and it has to be reversed. Thank you.